When it comes to cooking meals, drying clothes, heating water, and my home, nothing beats natural gas from CenterPoint Energy. It's my most affordable energy option. It costs less to use than electricity, propane, and heating oil. So if you already have natural gas, keep it. If you're replacing an appliance, choose it. Natural gas, your best choice. Safe and affordable, rest assured.
For more on the benefits of a natural gas home, visit centerpointenergy.com/natural gas benefits. CenterPoint Energy, always there.
Mike Leach will open the day up with Joel.
Hey Mike, any update on the status of Marcus Spencer after the scary situation that we saw Saturday night? How's he doing?
He's still, they're still observing him, just as precautionary, but he appears to be okay. They're going to see, if anything further needs to be done, but it's promising right now.
Coach, you've discussed before, it's been a unique year. This week, you've got to prepare for an SEC opponent and close out a recruiting class. How challenging is that for you, and how will you kind of manage the time?
Well, it is challenging. Just everybody will stay up late and watch film while they're making phone calls, which we did most of the night last night, and so far it's been very positive, and but yeah, we just have to commingle it and do it both at the same time. Sometimes it's somewhat like that as you're going into a bowl, but it is unique. It's definitely a unique situation, and so you just multitask your way through it.
Kind of follow up on that too is, how do you feel like the efforts have been received here in the final days, recruiting wise?
I think good. So we'll see what happens, but I think good, and we're excited about the exciting thing about this is you kind of get a glimpse of putting together your team in the future, and it's definitely exciting. You sit there and both your imagination goes wild on how great somebody's going to be, and then you say, well, gee, maybe we could have got this guy or that guy on occasion, and generally not with this class. And then you go out there, and it's always amazing. I was thinking about that driving in today. I've got some of the classes I've had over the years. I got a couple of those guys who are worth a couple $1 billion, and then a couple, of course, went on to the NFL, and then they do all kinds of things. I have some doctors, some lawyers, and everything in between, and it's kind of interesting because you think back to when you were at their house at signing day, or when you were at some high school, and where they are now. I mean, so it really is kind of exciting from that standpoint.
John?
Mike, what's kind of the mood been in the locker room? Has it been kind of different since they're obviously, you could potentially have a bowl game, but like the last game of SEC play, how has kind of the mood been between the guys in the locker room at that point? We've had really good energy and kind of focus on improvement. That's the one thing that I've been proud of these guys is we've played really hard. And then, in varying degrees, some teams have more people that can participate than others, but I thought our guys played hard and played hard to the end of certainly the last, I'd have to add it up, at least 3 games we've played, maybe 4.
Mike, I know you mentioned that last week it was Will's show. Do you anticipate any kind of competition this week between Will and KJ, or is Will your guy going forward?
Well, I think Will's the guy. I think we're going to stick with Will and just keep him rolling.
Robbie?
Coach, earlier in the fall, I guess back in practices, you guys were really high on Tulu, and he hasn't been on the field just a ton or had a lot of opportunities, I guess, to catch the ball. But last week, he had a big game, both receiving and returning. What have you seen from him so far this year, his true freshman season?
I think he's ahead of schedule for a true freshman. I think he's a work in progress. I think you definitely haven't seen the best that Tulu has to offer, but he's starting to emerge and doing some better things. He's an explosive guy. He's a tough guy, and now we just gotta, polish him within what we ask him to do. And of course, like a lot of players this year, he's had some interruptions to his practice and play too, which I didn't help. But I think Tulu's going to have a really good future here.
On those same lines, I mean, you just had so many true freshmen that have been forced into play, and a lot of it's numbers and things like that, but they're making big plays and they're a big part of the offense. How do you feel like those guys have progressed from the first practice that you saw those guys, when they're wide-eyed freshmen, to having all these SEC games under their belt?
Oh, I'd say a long, long ways. I mean, playing this many true freshmen, I never thought it would happen, and I didn't. To be honest, I didn't think it was possible. But it's anytime you play young guys, it's tough for the present and it's promising for the future. And then the exciting part, it's like being on a roller coaster. You'll see somebody do something that you never thought they could do, and they couldn't do a week ago. And then, but then the other thing, you'll see somebody do something dumb, or some fast guy who's even further away from the ball because he went the wrong direction. And fast guys, when they go the wrong direction, are further from the ball than slow guys. So you want them to be fast guys, but you want them near the ball. And so you'll see some mind-numbing stuff where you'll kind of hit your head and say, "What the hell did I just watch? What was he thinking?" And then, and you got to get it all reined in. So that's where we're in that process with a lot of guys.
Tyler.
Mike, going back to signing day, looking at your class and who you have right now, what do you think's missing? And along those lines, what do you think could happen Wednesday that would kind of make you say, all right, we stirred up some of the holes that this class doesn't have right now?
There's some on the bubble that I'm not sure what'll happen there. I think we have to shore up our secondary, and I think we're on our way to doing that. Whether that'll be complete on signing day, I don't know, but there's another signing day too. So, but the one thing, this signing day will kind of clarify even more specifically what we need to find out there.
Joel.
Mike, we've asked you a lot about freshmen this year. Another one, of course, Jaden Wiley, who seems to week after week do something good for you guys. I remember you talking to my daughter yells at you down there.
Oh, how's she doing?
She's 3 months old and still learning how to raise girls. I guess my question would be...
Oh, I'll tell you this. A key point, you got to do this, okay, because you want them to sleep through the night, right? So you just make her sing for her supper a little bit, because your wife's going to want to hop out of bed and jump on it right away. No, you got to reel her back in. Make the kid work for a minute before, and then you can tell the squawk where they really need something. But try to condition her to sleep through the night. You'll thank me for this. And if you don't get it done with the first one, then none of them are going to sleep through the night. That's important. Okay. See that, Tyler? I can help with stuff. I know stuff. I've been,
This is number 3 for us, so I think we're in good shape when it comes to we've about got it mastered, I think, by now. Maybe if you ever master it. But I was going to ask you about Jaden Wiley. We heard you mention him a lot back during preseason camp, and he was always a standout in scrimmages and things. Did you realize how big of a role he was about to play for you offensively this year? As soon as training.
I hoped. I didn't know. He's a guy that wants the ball all the time. He doesn't play perfect, but he plays full steam and he plays aggressive and he wants the ball. And then he's fearless. You got a freshman out there that is trying to run through every senior he can find on the opponent's defense. He's not afraid of anybody. And then he's explosive besides, So, I think his future's exciting too. He's got to stay hungry,
Steve.
Coach, your initial thoughts on Missouri?
Well, I think they're good both sides of the ball. Like they're aggressive both sides of the ball. So they have kind of a aggressive run game on offense, and then defense. They put a heavy front up there the whole time, and they like to play man coverage and try to be physical about it. So it's not. It's not a situation where they're trying to fool you. I mean, they're pretty aggressive and they're right out there and in your face. So,
We'll go back to John.
Mike, you mentioned how, you're proud of your guys, how they fought like the last, obviously, couple of weeks. So for this Missouri game, what's that next step you want to see this offense take, like specifically to show more improvement heading into, the home stretch of the season?
well, this game, I mean, and this game, and and young teams are personified by this is just consistency. I think that we're whether it's protection or getting rid of the ball or we're half a second away on some really good things. We've got to get that half a second. Then the other thing, route-wise, I mean, if we're just more precise, then we have more space to operate. And then the other thing is we had too many drop balls last game. I mean, that game's a game we lost by about 5 plays, and then if we do the things I'm talking about, then you're probably 20, 25 plays better, and we've got to find a way to get to that point. And then we've it's kind of an endurance thing now. I mean, we've got to physically hold up for the long run, and without a whole lot of reinforcements.
We've got time for a few more questions, guys. If you've got any, please put your name in the chat. We'll go back to Ben.
Mike, in terms of this regular season and the calendar, obviously you guys are playing regular season games a lot later. How are your guys, kind of staying engaged? Do you feel like they're still pretty engaged in terms of that, and in terms of just kind of the drag that this season is, at least as long as this season's been?
That's kind of relative because we started later. I think the thing that's a drag and that's a drain is the stop and start, okay? These guys are playing, these guys aren't. You're going to play. Oops, no, now you're not going to play. Okay, we're not playing them this year. Oh, well, no, we're going to play them in 2 weeks instead. Okay, the season ends now. No, it doesn't. It ends now. Okay, and then, recruiting. What can you do? Well, you can do this. You can't do that. Well, you can do this instead. Well, you can do that, but not this. Okay, and then, are we going to go ahead and have signing day when it is? Yes, we are. Well, maybe we're not. Yeah, we probably are. Yes, we are. Okay, are we practicing today? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so this many guys were positive. Oh, okay, who are the contact tracers? We got to track that down. Okay, well, how many O-linemen do we have? Okay, well, who's going to play guard? Okay, now, do we have enough corners? Well, I don't know. Well, this guy, he played a little corner in high school, and then, what time does this start? Well, I don't know. They're going to change that. Okay, now there's a procedure for this. We're going to test this many times a week. No, it's going to be that many. Okay, and so contact tracers are out this long? Okay, no, they're out that long. Okay, what constitutes a contact tracer? And then in the back of that, you're wondering, okay, well, the NFL does it one way, we do it another. Okay, and then, it's just the stop and start and just the incessant change, adjustment. It's, you guys are dealing with it yourselves. I mean, you guys see you all sitting in these rooms, and some of you look a little more cheerful than others, and some look tried to look cheerful, but you're kind of gloomy because you're stuck in there. And then, and so then, we're sitting here, doing it like this and pretending it's all for real. And this is just like a regular press conference. Yeah, this is such a brilliant idea. Let's do it like this all the time. I mean, everybody's been through this, and the determination. Yeah, we got some problems we have to deal with. And then, anytime you get committees involved in something, it's going to be convoluted, twisted up, and then the politicians are trying to beat their chest and maximize on this at every step. And in the end, together with all the commotion and clutter, we've created one of the most joyless seasons on earth. And hopefully we have the presence of mind to not repeat it this way again. Other than that, it's been great.
We got a time.
Well, that explanation gave me a headache sitting here, so I can only imagine what you've been dealing with.
Well, you don't want to be cooped up in your, let's see, you got a cool picture there on the wall. But I guarantee you that's not where you're planning to sit. Now, I realize you work on that computer all the time. I mean, you're in the computer business, sort of, but, yeah, but, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, that was a great explanation. But just going back to this Missouri game, and I know one game's not going to rewrite the story of a whole season, but just to get a win in it, how much do you think it could do for your guys mentally and just kind of, as John said, going into the bowl season, whatever that looks like, just to get a win in this game, what would it do for you?
Well, it means a lot to us all to get a win, and I think that means a lot to all of us to get a win. And then the other thing is as a core team, this team, with a few exceptions, has never played together before, and so I think that they're starting to play together better and better. Like I say, with the disruptions of, this guy's in, this guy's out. Well, maybe he's in. No, he's not. He's out. Well, hey, look, he can play, but although he didn't do anything all week, and now we discover we have him on Thursday. Okay, so there's that. But I think that it's kind of constant improvement meets now finishing the deal and having success together. I think it'd be huge, and I think that we've been on the threshold of that against some really good teams for the last several weeks.
We'll wrap up with David.
Coach, have you taken the pulse to the team about what they feel about bowling at this point? I mean, I know they've been in a grind this season. Do they even talk about bowling at this point, what it might mean to them or what they would do depending on what the date of the bowl is?
Yeah, that's been enough of a moving target that we haven't really addressed much of it. I think we'd all be excited to, with rare exception, there's probably an exception or two, but I think we'd all be excited to, continue to work together and have another game.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. See, and then your gloomy settings, if you have Coke, then that'll cheer things up. It's not going to solve the whole thing, but just, one day you'll be able to have that Coke outside your little cubby holes and will no longer be a slave to the green light the whole time. All right, I'll see you guys.